By 1941, the Nazis had already decided and attempted to kill Jews on a mass scale. They just had to find the fastest way to accomplish their goal. After the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union, Einsatzgruppen followed behind the army in order to round up and murder a large number of Jews by mass shooting, such as Babi Yar. It wasn't long before the Nazis decided that shooting was costly, slow, and took too high on a mental toll on the killers. Gas vans were also tried as part of the euthanasia program and the Chelmno death camp in Poland. This mode of killing used carbon monoxide exhaust fume from the trucks to murder Jews crammed into the enclosed back area. Stationary gas chambers also were created and carbon monoxide was piped in. These killings took about an hour to complete. Rudolf Höss, commandant of Auschwitz, and Adolf Eichmann, one of the German officers in charge of exterminating Jews and others, searched for a faster way to kill. They decided to try Zyklon B. On September 3, 1941, 600 Soviet prisoners of war and 250 Polish prisoners who were no longer able to work were forced into the basement of Block 11 at Auschwitz I, known as the Death Block, and Zyklon B was released inside. All died within minutes. Just a day later, the Nazis transformed the large morgue room at Crematorium I in Auschwitz into a gas chamber, and made 900 Soviet prisoners of war go inside for disinfection. Once prisoners were crammed inside, Zyklon B pellets were released from a hole in the ceiling. Again, all died quickly. Zyklon B proved to be very effective, very efficient, and very cheap way to kill a large number of people. With the construction of Auschwitz II, Birkenau, Auschwitz became one of the largest killing centers of the Third Reich. As Jewish and other undesirables were brought into the camp by a train, they underwent a selection on the ramp. Those deemed unfit for work were sent directly to the gas chamber. However, the Nazis kept this secret and told the unsuspecting victims that they had to undress for a bath. Led to a camouflage gas chamber with fake shower heads, the prisoners were trapped inside when a large door was sealed behind them. Then, an orderly, who wore a mask, opened a vent on the roof of the gas chamber and poured Zyklon B pellets down the shaft. He then closed the vent to seal the gas chamber. The Zyklon B pellets turned immediately into deadly gas because of the room temperature. In a panic and gasping for air, prisoners would push, shove, and climb over each other to reach the door. But there was no way out. In 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the weather, all inside were dead. After it was determined that all had died, the poisonous air was pumped out, which took about 15 minutes. Once it was safe to go inside, the door was opened and a special unit of prisoners, known as the Sonderkommando, hosed down the gas chamber and used hooked poles to pry the dead bodies apart. Rings were removed and gold plucked from teeth. Then bodies were sent to the crematoria, where they were turned into ash. Zyklon B was produced by two German companies, Tech and Stabenow of Hamburg and Degesch of Dessau. After the war, many blamed these companies for knowingly creating a poison that was used to murder over 1 million people. The directors of both companies were brought to trial. Tech and Stabenow director Bruno Tech and executive manager Karl Weinbacher were found guilty and given the death sentence. Both were hanged on May 16, 1946. Dr. Gerard Peters, the director of Degesch, was found guilty only as an accessory to homicide and was sentenced to 5 years in prison.